No man is more professional than I. I am a 1% man. I am not above or below any man. I'm training my mind. I'm building my body. I'm connecting to my soul. I'm investing my money. Welcome to the 1% Man Podcast. Let's go. All right, everybody. Welcome to the 1% Man Podcast. Welcome back to all you listeners. My name is Coach B. I'm here with my good friend, Jeff Young. Brother, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I am doing great. I am totally loving this scene that you got going on right now. So Jeff just set it all up. So
little feng shui, man. I like, I want it to feel professional. You know what I mean? So
it is super professional.
Yeah.
Guys, let me tell you something. I have no artistic skills when it comes to this. Like, everything you see that's super artistic, whether it's a website, backgrounds, whatever, it's always made by somebody else. I'm going to tell you this. I am high-level words and writing, but everything else artistic, that's why you have great friends. Have great connections like this, okay?
Listen, man, this is what the 1% is doing.
Wow. Way to call me out.
This is what the 1% is doing, man. This is what you're going to be doing, man. I told you we got some things coming up, man.
Exactly.
And we definitely want you to be a part of it, man. We're going to do it like the 1% does.
Oh, I love it. So, Jeff, for the listeners and for people that don't know you, we want to ask you 3 questions so we can get to know you better before we dive into today's topics. Is that cool?
Sounds good.
Question number 1. Knowing everything that you know right now, right, what would you tell your 18-year-old self?
The first thing I would say to myself is don't go to college right out of school.
Ooh, wow.
Take some time off. Take a year or 2 off. And the number one reason why I feel like I should have done that is I would be in the NFL right now if I would have taken 1 or 2 years off. Because I started playing football really late, and those 2 years would have given me a lot of time to develop my body physically and then also develop my body mentally. Develop myself mentally, because when I graduated college, when there was no more reason for me to play football or play any type of sports at all, I was the best athlete that I've ever been at that time. I was 6'3", 205 pounds. I ran a 4.5 40. I had a 38-inch vertical. My broad jump was 10 feet 5 inches. I was the best athlete that I ever was in my entire life. I was repping doing squats 315. You know what I mean? My bench press was up to like 275. I was on there. So that would be the first thing that I would tell myself. Is don't go to college right after. I would also tell my 18-year-old self to stay in sales. My very first job ever was at Sears, and they gave me the option to choose from working at Home Decor on flat commission or working in electronics, making $6 an hour plus commission. I chose the flat commission, and I was making like $863 every 2 weeks. And I was only working 4 hours a day, like 3 times a week. So I was making really good money at 17 years old, and I didn't even know it. So I would don't go to college, stay in sales. And then I would probably tell myself to love myself. At that time, I didn't really love myself and what I looked like. I saw a lot of flaws. But I would have told myself to love myself and embrace who you are, embrace your flaws, because that's what I do now. And those are the biggest things that I would have told myself at that time.
Man, so much to unpack there, but I want to ask you these 2 other questions before we go back and unpack that. So second question is, if you could choose to be an expert in any other space besides what you are in now, what would it be and why?
That's a great question.
Thank you. I try to give all my guests at least one question that they tell me that's a great question. That's what I strive to be. So
if I could be an expert in any other thing,
yes, besides poetry, business,
I would be an animal handler.
Oh, like the real Tarzan, like that, like you're talking about?
Yeah.
Like
I'd be an animal handler for sure, bro.
Dang.
Oh my gosh, that's my second calling for real.
Really?
I love animals. I love the snake back here. I love the snake. I love big cats. I love whales, sharks. Man, I just have an infatuation with marine life. Number 1, big cats. Well, big cats number 1, marine life number 2. I love big cats and dolphins and sharks and whales and stuff like that, man. I would definitely be some type of animal handler or like a marine biologist or something.
I never knew that. Now it makes sense why you got the big portrait of the cat, big cat, and then you have the snake. Like this all makes sense.
If you saw my room, there's puzzles of cats all over the room.
Okay, well,
1,000-piece puzzles.
Look at that. You think you know your friend, and then you bring them on a podcast, and you don't know your friends. You see what I'm saying?
You start spilling.
Exactly. Spilling secrets. What's going on here, right? But no, I love it. So question number 3 is, what is one value you believe that all men should adopt to make it a better place for everyone?
We need to learn to appreciate our brothers more publicly. When I go out with my girlfriend and she gets all dressed up and I get all dressed up, when another woman walks by her, another woman isn't afraid to say, "Oh my God, girl, I like your dress. Oh my God, you was wearing that. Oh, your hair. Who did your hair? Who did that?" When was the last time you got dressed up and the guy walked up to you and was like, "Dang, bro, your outfit look good, man. I like them shoes, man. I like how you got that put together, man. Hey, your haircut is dope, bro." Like, a guy that you don't know, right? Because when you go out and you see these women, right? Women, you have no idea who this woman is, but she'll compliment you. She'll compliment my girl like that.
Yeah.
And then her dude will be like,
"Hey, what's up, bro?"
We need to, I would make it, we need to start normalizing appreciating our brothers and get out of competition with our brothers.
Dang. It's crazy because I think it's ingrained in us as men that like we can't, like I can't compliment you if I don't know you because damn, I'm gay.
Right. Yeah.
It's that
stigma is number one.
Hey, bro, no homo, but like it's like how does giving another man a compliment, like, "Oh, hey, yo, Jeff, nice haircut." How? Like it to me, it boggles my mind on why people do that and why men feel like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally agree with you, man. I totally agree.
Yeah.
And I love, and it's crazy because I was gonna bring this up, but this is a great time to bring it up. So at the barbershop yesterday. And we read the same book. I Used to Be a Miserable Fuck by John Kim, the Angry Therapist. Great book, by the way, as well.
Great book.
Go read it. But something he talks about is how women get together and talk. Right.
Yeah.
These women were at the salon talking. They were talking about dildos, talking about sex, talking about giving head, just talking about like frustrations that they had in their own lives, but just candidly, openly, right? And you could see, and the thing is, what I saw was like, man, this is such therapy because they're like one girl's like, "Oh, well, I'm not thinking about doing this," and all the women are like, "Well, no, do it for yourself. You need to do it for you," motivating her, and I'm like, this is so amazing.
Men won't do that. They'd be like, "Nah, that's just gay. Nah, it's this homo. Like, what? Don't nobody care about it. Stop being soft." Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I think there's something freeing because I know me and you, we've gone on mandates where we've gone out, sat down, ate some chicken, and just talked. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's been a variety of things. And the thing is, our conversations always go deep, then go back. You know what I mean? Like we'll notice a pretty woman walk by, like, "Yo, she had a fat ass," and then after that, it comes back into, "Hey, look, so yeah, I'm thinking about doing this business or not." But I think more men need to understand the importance of that as well. But could you talk to us a little bit about like, how did you overcome your own shortcomings, maybe in thinking that, okay, maybe this is gay, and now starting to express love to your brother without feeling like, okay, this is weird?
So I think it's about being comfortable and embracing yourself, man. Like for a long time, men didn't wear pink. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're seen a certain way if you wear pink. Like I started to just embrace the things that I liked as opposed to trying to fit societal norms. You know what I mean? Like I wore pink to my prom. That was my color.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I even had the pink polo. I thought I was Kanye. So I started to embrace those things, man. I started to really love myself. When you're confident in yourself, you don't have a problem with doing something. Like another thing, like even some men have a problem with men doing like acting gay. You know what I mean? Like if you act gay or pretend gay for fun, you know what I mean? It's like, "Oh, nah, that's how he really is." Like, nah, that's not how I am. But I just said something in that way for dramatic effect or for it to be funny. Yeah. So I just started to embrace myself, man, and literally not live by what society thought was what a straight man was supposed to look like. I had a guy just on my podcast just yesterday where he was, in theater, and he was like, he had to get comfortable in his sexuality because majority of the men in theater were gay, and he's a straight man in theater around all of these gay guys. And so now it's, oh, is that him? No, this isn't me, but I love theater. This is what I love. And they're a part of this life.
Yo, I 100% agree. For myself, I think it came because from a young age I've always felt different. From a young age I never was the cool black dude. I always wanted to be, but these glasses they took that away from me, being the cool dude.
Yeah.
I always tell people like I was, if you think of like the Fresh Prince, there's Will and then there's Carlton.
I was Carlton.
God dang it, Jeff.
I was too.
Let me say it. But exactly, and we've had this conversation where it was even stepping into college for me was huge because actually no, first even before college, I went to two different high schools. I went to an all black high school where I was like not loved at all. Like it was just like I was one of just many, right? Then you go I went to another school. I went to a high school where it was predominantly white, and I was like one of the black guys. I played on the football team. And then that's when I really got my chance to shine was in football, and that's when you start playing football in high school. You get to know the notoriety, you get the awards, the honor. People start looking at you different. You start working out, you get little big muscles, and then women start flocking to you, and you're just like, oh well, hey, oh hello, like I'm not used to this,
Yeah.
But can you talk about for your own self and starting to step into your own self as a man? How did you handle that? And how did you mature through that too as well?
Man, so starting to grow into myself, it didn't start until I got to college and I started to grow my hair out. I think when I grew my hair out, man, it kind of it birthed like a new swag for me. You know what I mean? A new confidence, a new level of confidence. And then like you said, I started to get bigger. I started to swell up a little bit. I started to walk with my chest out like this. You know what I mean? Shoulders back, chest out. And I'm walking around like I'm looking, feeling, smelling like $1,000,000. And then I adopted the philosophy, man, that if I wanted to talk to a woman, like especially like we would go out a lot in college and stuff, I'm probably never going to see this girl ever again. So what's the worst thing that she's going to say is then no. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go talk to the girl 5 feet away from her. You know what I mean? So I really just adopted an I don't care philosophy. And then when I switched my major after my sophomore year to psychology, I started to learn about women, and we started to study women. I started to study the mind, and then I would unfairly use psychology on women, and I started to learn them. I started to pay attention to body language. I started to pay attention to little mannerisms and stuff like that they would do, and I would pick up on them like, oh, okay, she's sending me a little sign right now. So yeah,
so I'm gonna go ahead and go over there and say hello.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, exactly. I think one of the biggest things that I think I learned in college about being black, especially, was that and we both went to the same college, and we went to predominantly white college. Right. But something that I learned, especially even though it was Christian too, but something I learned was that I didn't have to be the stereotypical black dude like everybody else, right? Like there's a lot of times that I found, I don't know if you found the same thing, but guys would go to college and then pretend to be like something that they weren't. And you'd be like, hold on. And then I would go home. I'd go to the houses on the, like on the weekends, or I'll see where they come from. I'll meet their parents. I'll be like, hold on. You act like this, but your background isn't this. You know what I'm saying? Where I think for a lot of us, black men, it's that like we are so pushed towards a narrative, right? And that when we try to step away from that narrative, we're seen as uncool. Yeah. We're not black. Our black card gets revoked, right? Have you seen that for yourself? And can you talk to us about how you found your own identity? How you found like Jeff Young in being a black man, but also holding your own space as a black man too?
Yeah. So I can't say that I've experienced like the first thing you were talking about like taking away any black points or anything like that. And I think it's because I was an athlete, so I got a pass. Like I was around the cool kids, but I wasn't one of the cool kids, right? I was able to be in that circle because I played football and I played basketball. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of let me be in the club, but I still had to stand in the corner. You know what I mean? Ooh. I couldn't be in the mix and in the middle with everybody else. And then I really, man, I came into self-love. It started June 4th, 2014, when I lost my house and I lost my job the same exact day. And in that moment, it forced me into a space of self-love where I had to, it was only me in this remote town in the middle of nowhere. And I didn't have anything. It was just me and my dog. And for a year and a half, I was forced into growth. I was forced into maturity. I was forced into believing in myself and who I was. And I was forced to get to know myself more. I couldn't see my daughter for 2 years, and so I was away from her. I was away from family, and people always be like, yeah, you could have called me. It's not the same being there physically. You know what I mean? The phone call doesn't work as well as the physical does. And so even when I just told my dad that story a couple of days ago, and he's like, well, why didn't I know that? I was like, because you didn't need to know that. I needed this moment for me. I decided that this was the moment that I'm going to take for me, and I'm going to embrace self-love, and I'm going to embrace change. And that's when my life changed, was when I found myself, and I started to love myself unapologetically, regardless of what anyone said. Like, before, if someone said anything about me, my hairline, my ears, my teeth, it's like a knife piercing me. But now you can say what you want.
It doesn't
matter. Because I'm part of the 1%,
Yeah, go ahead.
You can say number one, I can definitely come back at you harder than you can come back at me. I try to build myself into a person that, if you said something about me, I said, listen, if I was you, I would be a better version of you. I'm the son that your mom wants you to be. If I met your mom, I guarantee you she would want you to be just like me. In some way, shape, or form. I'm a nice, humble guy, but don't push me.
Oh, of course, yeah, yeah. I think the nice guys like us, people always feel like they can always take advantage of us.
Yeah.
But then they always don't. I think people have to remember, like, the most nicest people are the ones that are usually the most prepared for what's going on around them.
Right.
You know what I mean? The ones that are quiet, they're like, okay, Jeff, no, I can fuck with Jeff. Then you fuck with them, and you're just like, oh, maybe let me not. You find out why I'm
a people watcher, right?
Yes.
I'm a people watcher, so I'm watching every little thing that you do. So that little thing that you didn't think nobody saw, I saw it. I peeped it. Whether that was on your social media, whether that was in real life, I just saw you talk to that girl over there, bro. She just a mess. I bet you if I went over there and talked to her, I bet you I can have a conversation with her. And then I'll just walk away. I don't even need to say nothing to her. I bet you she'll come back to me.
Dang. And then that's what happens when people diss you, huh?
That's what happens when people diss me, man.
I think most important, it's not happening when people diss you, but that's what happens when you know yourself. And
exactly.
And you're able to function in that, like, I don't know how to say it, but people say divine masculinity. I call it main, like, when you know yourself and you're a man, and you see what I'm saying? Like, you just sit up.
Yeah.
you just function, and people naturally want to be around, like, men that are just good men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Today, actually, I had a conversation with a friend, and we were talking about how the most dangerous men are actually, like, we need more dangerous men in this world. Excuse me. And the reason why I say that is because dangerous men know what it's like to what aggression is like. They understand what harm is like, what violence is like. Some of the the best way to explain it, some of the nicest people on the football field were the hardest hitters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the nicest guys, like the ones that are super nice, genuine, you know what I mean? But they understand that violence is used only at a particular time. Yeah. And the people that are super violent, that always want to fight or always want to show out, like, I'll beat you up. It's like, no, you're insecure about yourself. Like, chill out. If you can't use logic or reason to talk with somebody, then of course you have to use your hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good, man.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
That's good, man.
Thank you. I try. You know what I mean? I try to use my analogies in my stories.
That's good, man.
So yeah,
that's a beautiful analogy, man. I'm gonna have to borrow that. Yeah. I'll quote you on it when I use it. I'll quote you on it for sure.
So I want to switch topics a little bit. I want to talk about conflict resolution, because I think conflict resolution is something that myself, you out there listening, and you probably face a lot of. So conflict resolution. Let's talk about this more in relationships. The difference between men and women when it comes to conflict. Men, I'm just gonna set the stage so that way
right.
We have somewhere to go. So you're dating a girl, you're talking, and say you're talking even about money, or talking about how the sex is going to in the relationship. Maybe you're talking about how you want a house, she wants a condo, whatever that may be, and there's a conflict that arises between a man and a woman. A lot of times we coin, or we just push women to say they're super emotional. Right? We say men have no emotions, but how do we handle conflict, especially in relationships, setting that stage. Just want to just so that way the guests know and the listeners and you know as well. So how do we handle conflict in that sense of relationships?
I think the best way to handle conflict in relationships is have an open dialogue. Okay. So and you have to create a space for open dialogue. I'm not going to tell y'all what me and my girlfriend call it because it's a business. I got to save that for the business, right? But we do this thing where whatever it is you need to get off your chest, and even when things are good, you have to check in, right? A lot of times, sometimes like people say like prayer, people only go to God when things are bad, but when things are good, they don't go to him, right? So even like in your relationship, you don't want to just have communication when things are bad. You also want to be communicated, hey, things are going really good right now for us. Yeah. Let's explore why.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Great. Like let's explore why things are going so good. What have we been doing different that has been keeping it here? What are some of the things that have been exciting? What are some of the things that you wish I did more of? Oh man, I wish you bought me more flowers. Say less. I'm buying you flowers every other week now. It's forever. Right. So we do that. We have this space where we have an opportunity for open dialogue. Anything that you need to say, anything that you want to say, anything that's difficult, this is the moment to say it. Don't be a jerk with it, right? Don't be an asshole. Say it, but say it and mean it, right? And the other person just has to listen. There's no punishment or there's no recourse of what's said in this sacred space, right? Whatever's on your heart. And then we resolve the issue. Okay. So, and a lot of times, what me and a friend said is women lead with their heart, men lead with their head. Right. So in conflict, it comes across that way as well. My girlfriend, she's very emotional, less emotional, but the middle ground, right, is somewhere in there, and we just have to find out what that middle ground is. And so, using statements like "I hear you," "I understand you," I tell people in conflict, man, break it down. So what you're saying is when you say this, I do this. Is that what you're saying? So okay,
you're saying tell them back. Summarize what they said and tell it back to them.
Exactly. So that you're hitting the pain point, right? Because you can be answering the question, but be dancing all the way around and never get to the actual answer. But no, so you're saying this and this, right? I just want to specify. Okay, all right, cool. So then this is what I know I need to do in this case or in this situation. So you have to specify, and then you have to leave room for adjustment and for change, right? Your relationship is going to be ever changing and it's always going to be evolving, and you have to leave room for that no matter where you guys are in your relationship.
But Jeff, isn't the person I'm with supposed to take me for who I am and for all my flaws and all my toxic traits though? Like why would I do that with somebody? Why would I change?
Yeah. So they are definitely supposed to accept you for who you are, and they definitely are. But if you're in a position where you really love this person and she says you're a bit messy, I need you to be neater, right? That's a change that you should be willing to make, And if you're not willing to make that change, then this just isn't the person for you, right? So things like that, you have to be willing. You may not have to change, right? Your core of who you are, you're not really going to change much, especially at 30. I'm 31 years old. At 31, I am who I am on the core, right? There's some things on the outside where I can still make some changes. Okay, put it this way, right? I'm gonna give you this example. I'll give you this analogy, right? Ceramic, making ceramics, right? I think we are all clay in the beginning, right? And as we grow older, we're being molded and shaped into what we want to be. What is this thing going to be? I don't know what he's going to be. So, but we're being molded, right? And by the time you get to like high school, they start putting the fire to you, you know what I mean? And it starts to harden and stuff like that. But there's still room to actually change and shape this mold into something different, right? Do a couple little tweaks and stuff like that. Then when you get into college, 25, and then graduate college in about 25, now the fire is there, right? You know what I'm saying? The fire is there. It's hardened. Now it's about shaping, right? I'm at the point at 30 where I'm done. I can't be molded anymore. The only thing I can be is sculpted.
Okay.
Right?
Yes. Could you explain that?
Sure. I'm not the full masterpiece that I'm supposed to be yet. Right? So I'm already the statue, right? The statue is already there. But if you sculpt it and you chip away just at the couple right places, boom, just boom, boom, I can become a masterpiece. That's what my partner does for me. She sculpts me. She's not molding me anymore. I'm already who I'm going to be. But she sculpts me a couple places. Boom. Boom. Okay, I like that one. Boom, right there. That's what she does for me. She sculpts me.
Dang, so you work on her, she works on you, and
Yeah.
she's sculpting you with every compliment.
Yeah.
I think the one thing I like that you said, the biggest thing is that when things are going good, let's check in and let's see why things are going good. Because I think usually what happens in relationships when things are going well, especially for the listeners out there, we ride the wave, right? We're like, hey, it's going good. Like, hey,
why do I need to check in? It's going good.
No, don't touch this, man. This is good. Like, you know what I mean? Like the system's already working. It's usually when something is wrong and it's like, okay, well, something's wrong now. Now we try to throw all the hands to the fire, and it's like, okay, how do we fix this? It's like, but you're saying that if we, so do you do every 2 weeks, every week? Is there a certain day?
At least every 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Listen, relationships are roller coasters, man. And just because a roller coaster passed the test, that doesn't mean you stop testing the roller coaster to make sure that it's safe to ride on.
Man, I think I'm going to use that. And I'm going to quote you. I'm going to quote you on that one. Exactly. Okay, I can dig that.
But every 2 weeks, man. Again, you know, for marketing purposes, I'm going to hold what we do, and what we call it. But yeah, man, no, it's a sacred space. Whatever you guys do, create a sacred space where you guys can check in with each other regularly, and it doesn't have to be a long check-in. I don't want people to think that we got to sit down and we got to sit down for an hour and have this long freaking conversation. And then she's gonna get emotional. Nah, man, things are going good. How you feeling? Yeah, the relationship is going good. Okay, where are we at in regards to, you know, engagement? Where are we at in regards to finances? Where are we at in regards to moving in, buying this house? You know, we working on a business venture right now together. Where are we at on these things? What's the move? You know, how you feeling about things? Things are going good. Yeah. Is there anything you feel like I should be doing different? I should be doing more of? What? I'm good. Okay. All right. Love you. Just wanted to check in. So, yeah, let's do it.
Wow. I like that. I really do like that. I think that's something I'm going to implement and something that I'll put in, but I'm single, so I won't put it in right now, but I definitely will once I get in a relationship.
Well, I just threw you an alley-oop. We want to see if you catch it or not.
Jeff's always
it's on the podcast. It's on the podcast now, so you gotta.
I feel like now I have to reach out. No,
it's on the podcast.
Well, you know,
now.
I'll let you guys know how it goes. But
just do a little oop. We're gonna see it. Is he gonna lay it up? Is he gonna miss it? Is he gonna dunk it?
You know what?
Or is he not gonna jump? Is he gonna go? That was for me.
You know what's crazy is that I really love to give flowers. I'm a flower giver. Actually, I'm just a gift giver in general, but I'm really a flower giver. So I have this website that I always use that they always send next day flowers because I'm a very fast person. No matter what I do, I'm just very fast. I need to slow down sometimes to keep telling me, but you know, but getting back to you though, so you have an amazing podcast. Okay,
it's not the 1% Man podcast, but it's okay.
I mean, it's different genres. What can I say? But talk to me about your podcast. Why'd you start it?
Because I love hearing success stories.
Yes.
I'm in love with how people have gotten to where they've gotten to. I am also an information whore. Wherever there's information, you will find me. Yes.
With the mountain of books, as you can see.
Yeah.
I love it.
Wherever there's information, you will find me 100%. And then I started it, during the pandemic, just because I wanted to give people an opportunity to share their stories, man. I wanted people to hear these success stories. And, it's in my bag with Backpack Jeff, where we connect with ordinary people doing extraordinary things. These are ordinary people, but they're doing extraordinary things. And these are people who are right in our community that we can touch, that we can have conversations with, but that we don't even think about having conversations with because we don't know them, or we don't know their story, or we don't know that we know they exist. We know somebody owns this barbershop, this hair salon, this, this business, this company or whatever, but we won't have the conversation with them. We don't. I mean, how do you open a barbershop? You know what I mean? What are some of the ins and outs? What are some of the business things in terms of being a barber? You know, I just had an actor on. How do I become an actor? You know, who knows how do you become an actor?
Talk to actors.
Hey, talk to act. Listen to the In My Bag podcast, and all of the secrets are on there.
Exactly. So no, I love that. Now you have your own success story as well. So I know it's super long, but I want you to give it to us in the shortest version possible that you know of.
Sure.
Could you give it to us so that people can really understand your story, and I'll fill in the gaps too as well if I see any piece that I want to hear.
So as a Waynesburg University student, started in 2007, the fall of 2007. I was a two-sport athlete, played basketball and football. And I worked 3 jobs and put myself through school, man. My schedule was waking up at 4:30 in the morning and going to work, and then coming back and going to class, and then going to practice, and then going to my second job, and then going to my third job. I did that for 2 years, man. And I would walk to work. I'm waking up at 4:30 in the morning and walking 3 miles to work, you know, and then walking 3 miles back after an 8-hour shift, and then going to practice. And so I did that. And then I graduated. I finished my bachelor's degree with a 2.2 grade point average. Hooray for me.
C's get degrees. Don't worry about that.
Hey, that's a great phrase. So look, I did that, and then I realized about 3 or 4 years after being out of college that I needed to go back to college. I needed more information. At this time, I started to learn a lot more. And I was working in the insurance business, making $70,000 a year. And, from there, you always go up in the insurance business. That was in my 3rd year. And I quit that job. And then I went to work at a call center, making $10.50 an hour. And then I got back into school, did my master's degree in conflict resolution. And then once I graduated, finished my master's degree, I came back home. And all of the lessons that I've learned while I spent those 11 years in Pennsylvania, I came back here, I implemented them, and success started to happen really quick. Mm-hmm. I've grown tremendously in the 3 years that I've been here, that I've been back in Maryland. And it's only, the universe is the limit, not the sky.
Ooh. Exactly. And I'm going to coin that too. I'm going to take that because it's on the podcast, so it has to be copyrighted on our podcast, right? So, but no, I have 2 things for you. So there's one story of how me and Jeff met. There's a second story, how Jeff, I love his story. Tell us the story about how you would cook for the people that would come into play. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So I played basketball, and during basketball season, we would have games on Saturdays, and our games would typically be at like 3:30. Uh-huh. And so I would walk to Bob Evans at like 4:30 in the morning. I would get there like 5:25, 5:15, and then I would cook. I would stay in there like 5:30 until like 1:30. I would work, but the other team, they would come, and Bob Evans was the only place to eat in Waynesburg. Yes. And so they would, the players, they would come into the restaurant and they would see me back there because I'm tall, the grill line's like right here, and I'm like way up here, like, right. So I get to look over and stuff like that. They're like, wait, ain't that Jay Young? And I'm like, what up? And I'm like, yo, what up, y'all? They're like, hey, you coming to the game? I'm like, yeah, man, I'll be there at 3:30, man. I just got finished working. Don't even worry about it, bro. And I would literally cook their meals and stuff like that. I would go out to them, hey, what's going on, man? How's the food? Food was good? Yeah, dog, you working before you come to a game? You gonna be tired. I'm like, hey, look, man, this is what I got to do.
Exactly.
So yeah, I would do that, and then after I walked back to the university, I would get in a hot tub, get electric shock therapy on my legs, really rest my legs, and get in. Thankful for the training staff that was at Waynesburg for sure, because I couldn't have done it without them. First class. Man.
Oh yeah, very first class.
I mean, amazing. I could have done it without them. But yeah, man, I would literally cook for the team that I was about to play. Then walk home 3 miles in weather as cold as winter in Green Bay.
Whew.
Yeah.
Okay. You with all the lines, the similes, and metaphors.
Right here, man. Right? I wrote that in my poem, man. Who working 8-hour shift on game day, then walk home 3 miles before tip in weather as cold as winter in Green Bay.
So you should know, Jeff is a poet too.
Yeah,
So,
I do that too.
So poetry, businessman, soon enough. He has other ventures too, e-commerce, so many other ventures as well. But the story I want to share with you, this is why I think connections are so important for the 1% man. And I say this so much, and I preach this to you, and I hope you understand this, right? Because you got to understand, there was a point in my life when I stayed at Waynesburg University because my family, I just didn't want to put the financial strain on them of going back home, them having to come pick me up about like 4 or 5 hours away, then me driving back home and driving. So I wanted to like just live on my own and also prepare myself for the next season, which everyone knows I'm big on preparing. I'm big on like, I care, and I wanted to, so I care about my team, so I wanted to prepare. Now I get a job at Bob Evans. I'm with Jeff, I'm working. It's like, they'll make like $10 an hour or something like that. Jeff's probably making like 15 or something. And I'm just like, man, I want to make 15, right? But that's not the main part of the story. But I would wake up, I would go work out with Maria Shepard. Maria Shepard's going to be on the podcast. This is a badass female, badass trainer, right? Badass to the core, right? I mean, she would do, so you got to think, she would do ab exercises with all of us, right? With every single group. And there would be like 3 groups for the morning workout, and then 3 more groups for the afternoon, and then 3 more groups at night. She would do them all, and she wouldn't get tired. And then she would go downstairs, train us, and work with us, and then run back home, which is like 6 or 7 miles, then run to practice, then run back home. She was always running, and she was always moving. And I've never seen her tired. Never seen her ever like
she's a boss,
bent over, never tired. So that was the person that trained me, right? And I think that's when I got even a big respect for female trainers now. And I'm like, I don't mind getting trained by a female, because if I know, by a woman, I don't mind getting trained by a woman that knows that's a badass like that, and that has self-respect, and that is just a fucking beast. Yeah. So she was training me. I would work out with her in the morning, then I'd go lift with her too, and then I would essentially do a 2 a day every day. Run in the morning and then work out, and I'd go to Bob Evans from about like 3 to 10 every day, clothes and all that. But there was one day on a Saturday, it was breakfast. There was home fries on the table, right? No, I think it was a Friday. I think it was on a Friday because on Saturdays it was a Saturday. It was a Saturday. So let me just get the story straight. It was a Saturday. I just worked out twice with Maria. I was tired as hell. I'm tired. You understand? Like, this is football training, high quality, like NFL caliber things. Now I'm tired. I didn't eat anything. I went to the grill. I went to Bob Evans. On the grill, there's home fries. These home fries have been there since breakfast. I think Jeff probably made them. I don't know who made them, but they were old. They were super old, right? Now the home fries are calling my name, but you can't eat them because there's a rule that, hey, they're gonna save the food for whatever reason to sell their customer, right? So the dark side of being in a restaurant, right? So me being sneaky as I am, I'm hungry. I have no money in my account, right? I have no money in my account. You're gonna know how much money I exactly had in my account. So, actually, how much money I didn't have in my account. So I take the home fries, I eat them. I put salt, pepper, ketchup. I mean, I run to the back, and I just scarf it down. Best home fries I ever ate. I swear to God, those are the best home fries I ever ate. Manager comes in the back. He's like, hey, who ate the home fries? Me, with a convicted spirit. I feel like he already knows. I'm like, hey, I ate them. He's saying, hey, you got to pay for these. I'm like, home fries? Like, really? I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm about to get fired from my job because I didn't tell him that I ate home fries. Like, I took food off the grill. Jeff, not knowing, says, don't worry about it. Like, literally told me not to worry about it. Yeah. And ever since then, and we all called him Uncle Jay. And I think that was like, okay, Uncle Jay got me, so I'm good to go. But I share that story because the home fries were like, what, $2?
$2 and some change.
$2 and some change. I didn't have $2 and some change on me, right? I'm a college student. Everyone talks about being a broke college student, but I literally did not have $2
super broke
and whatever cents on me, right? But that's the power of having the connection, right? Like, Jeff, if Jeff never knew that story, but Jeff will always know. I tell him now, I always fuck with Jeff. Like, if Jeff says like, hey, I need rent money, or I need this, I need that, I will gladly take out my credit card and say, all right, pull whatever you need on there. And if he says I'll pay you back, I'll be like, hey, I know you're good for it. Don't worry about it. If he doesn't pay me back, fuck it. I know you're good for it anyway. You know what I mean? Like, this is why I say having connections, and make sure that people like Jeff in your life, you don't have to not say keep them happy, but keep them around, right? Because someone that's willing to not know you whatsoever, because at that time, me and Jeff didn't know each other at all, right? He played football, I played football. We saw each other in passing.
That was the semester I took off. That was the semester that I took off. Is when that happened. Yeah, that was it. So I was there, but I wasn't there. Like, that was a semester that I took off. So I seen you before, but I didn't know you at that time.
You know, it's crazy because because that first year we did play football together.
No,
we didn't.
Mm-mm.
Oh shoot! No, we didn't.
That was 2010. When did you graduate?
2010.
Yeah,
I graduated in 10. That's when I came in 2010.
Yeah, I was
2011.
off. I was off.
Oh wow!
I wasn't there that semester.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I really, and honestly, I don't know why. I feel like I no, but my sophomore year and junior year we played together though.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. Maybe I feel like I'm mixing it all up.
Yeah, we played 2 years together.
Freshman year, whatever. It's a blur, right? I didn't even know shit anyway, so I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I got drunk a lot, and I knew I was hitting on a whole bunch of girls. That's why. I know. But I share that story though because that was the power of our friendship. That's how me and Jeff got connected, and I share it because I think that's super powerful to have somebody where Jeff didn't have a lot. He wasn't well off the way we are now
at all.
But to be able to give the shirt off your back, I think that's something that it should be admired and should be cherished. Do you know what I'm saying? So I hope you have somebody just like that as well in your life. And if you don't, there's people out there that are like that and you should get around them because as they go up, Jeff, my first legit speaking engagement, recorded and all that was through Jeff. Right, and this is why opportunities come your way because if I get an opportunity like today, not as big, but I gave Jeff 2 people he should talk to for his podcast. Or if I see somebody, hey, I think you should talk to this person. It goes back and forth and you feed each other. Yeah. Right.
And I think that's one of the things that, like you said in the beginning, one thing that I think men should be doing is helping each other and, not so much competing with each other, but literally complimenting each other. And not just in the verbal of, yo, I like your outfit, but complimenting each other like, yo, I want to help your business grow and I want to support you.
Exactly.
Like we there's enough, trust me, there's enough out here for all of us to eat. There's enough money in this world circulating for all of us to eat, for all of us to be very successful. Not whatever your version of success is, there's enough for all of us to have our own independent versions of success.
And if someone right now, a man right now is going through some like trial tribulation, and they can't see the way out, what would you tell them?
If they can't see the way out, I would probably say, take a step back. You're too close to it. Right?
Yeah, could you explain that to us, please?
Yeah, I would say, the reason why you can't see a way out is because you're looking at it through a first person point of view. You got to get into it as a third person point of view. If you're up this close on something, right, you can't tell what it is because you're this close. The only way you can tell what it is if you take a step back and now, this is an elephant. When I'm up here, it's only a gray spot and it's all ugly and the skin is all crinkly. And you're like, I don't know what this is. The reason you can't see it, you need to take a step back. You're too close to it. So take a step back and look at it from a third person point of view so that you can actually see what it is. And then once you see what it is, you'll be able to find your way out of it.
Shoot, I love that. And this is the point of the show where we give the person being interviewed a moment to give us the last words. So before we go, last words is a story, it's a mantra, it could be a poem, not a long one, but it could be whatever you want to give to us before we go into life. So what is something that you want us to carry with us before we go into life? What's the last words, Jeff?
Yeah, sure. I would say the last couple of lines to my poem called Success. It's the first poem that I ever wrote. And the last couple of lines are talking about appreciating success. Like, you have to learn how to appreciate success, because if you don't, then success will be taken away from you. Right. And so I learned how to appreciate success and appreciate my journey and appreciate the process along the journey. That's why I'm able to be here and be able to do and achieve and accomplish the things that I have right now. Is because I've learned how to appreciate it. Only when you are able to appreciate yourself on level 2, 3, on level 1, 2, 3, 4, will you be able to get to level 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then eventually 10, right? So wherever you are in your life, learn how to be grateful, show gratitude for where you are, and then learn how to appreciate success. Learn how to appreciate exactly where you are. And remember that you control how fast you go. We were all destined to be successful, right? It was already written in the history books that we were going to be successful. Some of us are just faster readers than others. I'm a really fast reader. You're a really fast reader. You can be a really fast reader. You just got to turn the page. Stop slow reading and stop going back and rereading chapters that have already served their purpose. Keep turning the page of your life, and then you'll get to that chapter where you're living the life that you want to live.
I love it. Jeff, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, man.
My brother, thank you so much. And my brother, you heard it here first. Your legacy starts today. Thank you, my friend, for tuning into today's episode. This means so much to us over here at the 1% Man community. Now, we want to extend a hand of gratitude to you. So I have a free gift for you. All you have to do is go to www.the1percentman.com/podcast gift. This is an exclusive gift for listeners that tune into our podcast. So go over there, get that free gift as well. And now I have 2 simple acts of you. 1, hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment and a 5-star review, because that helps us to see what you love about the podcast, and that helps us to bolster up in the rankings so more people can find us and listen to this pertinent information that we have for men of today's age. Last but not least, I want you to go back and listen to this podcast. Find just one thing that you can implement in your life today so you can move forward. Remember, progress over perfection. And till next time, my friend, your legacy starts today.